I am Peter Frankurt, owner of Die Galerie and curator of this room. 4 different curators for one exhibition. What a delightful idea. Here I would like to express my special thanks to my colleagues Elke Mohr, Laura Colombini and Caroline Nusser. For my room, I naturally have chosen highlights, like our magnificent bronze Princess X by Constantin Brancusi, a museum piece. The only artist here in my room whom I did never meet personally. The Centre Pompidou has reconstructed his studio and equipped it with a collection of his sculptures, including our Princess X, a portrait of Princess Marie Bonaparte, for Brancusi, the essence of woman. With Karl Otto Goetz, I was able to establish a wonderful, friendly relationship. Surely you remember our large solo exhibition here, which we had arranged for the artist's 100th birthday. The 2 paintings we are showing here are early informal masterpieces of the 1950s, one of which was presented at the Venice Biennale in 1958. Bert was a poet and a painter, also an important member of the Cobra group. I will never forget the visits to his studio north of Amsterdam. I was connected with Horst Janssen by a very amazing, strangely close friendship. He had an explosive personality. I had the pleasure of editing several original prints with him, always very exciting experiences. He was also a poet. His New Year's speech in St. Marien's Church at Lübeck is unforgotten. I got to know Johannes Heisig through his brother Walter Eisler. Walter had taken his mother's name in order to escape his father's overbearing influence. On August 29th, we opened a first exhibition on the occasion of Volker Stelzmann's 80th birthday at the Anger Museum in Erfurt. Here we show an early painting of the artist, as well as a painting of Thorsten Holz, a master student of Volker Stelzmann.
I am Elke Mohr, gallery manager here at Die Galerie since almost 20 years and very happy with this show. For my space, I have come up with a concept in which I would like to combine aspects from our gallery program that at first seem incoherent. On the one hand, I would like to focus on the female artists, worth to get a platform here. These include important names such as Louise Nevelson, the grande dame of the New York post-war art scene, but also Amy Ernst, granddaughter of the Dadaist and Surrealist Max Ernst, as well as the English-born cosmopolitan painter Sandra Brandeis Crawford, who lives in Vienna today. But they also include Lydia Jacob, the female alter ego of the Alsatian artist Remo Weidelich. Her biography is told in the entire work of the artist. On the other hand, I immerse myself in the 42-year history of Die Galerie, as well as in the art history of the second half of the 20th century, with its many varieties of abstraction. Here, the form and its dissolution is the most exciting theme. I am fascinated by the variety of structures in works by a wide range of artists and techniques. From our gallery program, I have therefore selected André Masson with a translucent paperwork next to Karl Otto Goetz, the German inventor of the informal. A wonderful decollage of the Cobra artist Oscar Jorn, the Chinese Zhao Qin, Jimmy Ernst and his daughter Amy. I am always attracted by historical or contemporary, generally philosophical references. Art, I think, gives us the opportunity to experience history on a level that is otherwise only possible in music. Therefore, you can find the drawings here, Zeughaus by Volker Stelzmann and Lucebert's Rivello, a wonderful bullfight scene with a lot of humor. Sandra Brandeis Crawford's pictures are highly complex, often dealing with their own family history, that of an European Jewish family, and with the Holocaust, where her grandfather and many family members were killed. Impressively, she visualizes the still omnipresent anti-Semitism in her and in our lives. I have chosen the painting The Angel's Shock, which depicts the desecration of the Jewish cemetery in Eisenstadt in 1992 and takes a warning position by emotionally striking the viewer. For me, this painting is magic. At first sight unobtrusive, it then draws me into the scene and hits my heart. For me, the painting also closes the circle of manifold structures in my presentation, because at the end, the angel's shock dissolves the narrative into material and into structure, similar to what Oscar Jorn or André Masson or Jimmy Ernst did. Fascinating, isn't it?
Every one of us has dreamed about it at least once in his life, being able to fly, to soar into the air and completely weightless to be carried by the wind through the skies. Nel blu dipinto di blu sings Domenico Modugno in the chorus of his famous song Volare, and this very feeling of freedom and lightness is what I experience when facing the monumental canvas Luftensacrobata, Acrobats of the Air, by the Cobra artist Carlen Peterson. The ability to create dream worlds is one of the features of art that has always fascinated me. Not without reason, Marc Chagall, with his figures floating in colorful, often undefined spaces, is one of my all-time favorite artists. That the works of the Russian-French artists also strongly influenced the art of Carlen Peterson is certainly no coincidence, and can be clearly recognized in his works. The undefinability of the space in which the figures operate is one of the main characteristics of the dream world. And it is exactly this uncertainty that increases the curiosity of the viewer, invites him to come closer and become an inhabitant of this world himself. We suddenly have the feeling to have entered another dimension, which lies beyond figuration or abstraction. In Klaus Züller's Thalamorphora, for instance, we believe to recognize anthropomorphic figures. However, the absence of a spatial context confuses us. We lack point of reference to reality and may feel disorientated by it. Whether or not this is to be the case, however, depends entirely on us as viewers. Our other option is to simply accept a dream as an alternative reality, to embrace it with open arms and immerse ourselves in it. As the emblem of the inner struggle between reality and dream, we find in this room the character of Don Quixote, here depicted in a wonderful canvas by the surrealist painter André Masson. Each one of us can choose to take a ride on the horse Rocinante and dare to venture into the mysterious wood of the dream worlds.
My name is Caroline Nusser. I'm art historian and curator of this room. In this room, you find contrast juxtaposed, the figurative and the abstract, the drawn and the painted, the paper and the canvas, the line and the surface, the colorful and the monochrome. Art of a whole century is brought together between those four walls. The drawing from 1919 by Max Ackermann, which are the oldest works here, are confronted by the most contemporary work with the abstract forms by Alain Clément from 2019. Between them there are hanging works by Ackermann from the 1950s and 1960s and works by José and Guidanos from the last decade. In this room you see a selection of the artworks which have become my favorite ones by their effect on me, by their colors, titles, and forms, which cause different emotions. Sometimes, favorite pieces are only recognized as such at second or even third sight. The decisive factor is not only the visible, but especially the emotional. Between these four walls, space and time should not play any role at all. This is what Ackermann's Weltenuhr, which means the world clock, stands for in this room. No matter what time, what space we come from, no matter how contrary we are, it is the emotions that connect us. The decisive factor is the dialogue. In this case, the dialogue between the viewer and the artwork. With my selection on the artworks as curator, I can affect which works have an impact on you, but not on their individual effect. This is different for you than for me, because it is a personal and unique thing. There is of course the collective memory, which, depending on certain factors such as culture, epoch, religion, and education, evokes a common association in a certain group of people. So there is also the individual memory, which is shaped by the personal experiences and thus arouses own emotions. Now it's up to you to feel whether one or the other artwork can also become your favorite.